I sent to Bobby.
I know they have it with me.
That'd be
I
useful.
think this is when they went to,
Yeah. They want to be.
He's got food, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Outstanding. Outstanding.
Daddy bigger.
what?
Give me food, I'm hungry.
Yeah, I haven't had dinner.
You want me to call you?
Yeah, could you? Oh, I found it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I found it earlier when I was running back and forth.
I need some food.
Yeah, she did.
Right here. Right there, George. Ron's there, sir.
You get them for people like me. I don't care.
I learned my lesson.
Seven.
Yeah.
No, I didn't do that.
I know you did, but I still.
Take a picture
I think he's
for
gonna
his
cut
ID
it
card.
out. He has a
Mike,
I was just gonna say,
kid on his right in front of you.
Yeah.
Mike Hennig.
I know you, I know.
I know, everybody knew, everybody approached me at the next the next day.
You're
So,
sitting right, you guys were sitting right on the.
But they couldn't make out nobody's laughter, but they knew my voice. And I'm like, who is laughing?
I told him, I
so
said,
when the clock stops and ready to go,
That would, yeah.
Yeah, probably. You might see him when he's like, I don't.
He didn't
oh yeah, you just let it go. It was funny when it was anything.
Well, he's got another meeting that's not gonna
I'll
happen.
stand behind him, I'll stand behind him.
Oh,
Heck
you
yeah.
don't have a hamburger.
I mean, he wasn't any drug, didn't have drug, that's what it was said.
AUG is supposed to listen.
I did.
I did.
It was good.
Okay.
I said,
Yeah.
it was nice.
Yep.
I get up and make those comments on the microphone or something. I call up Sue videos and I see it.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
I'm gonna run tonight.
Don't worry.
What?
I'm gonna walk.
We'll meet him tonight, or not, oh, it's sometime tonight, I don't think.
No, not tonight.
I'm going to fly. I'll be dining by 8 o'clock. Much as I hate eating like that.
You didn't grab dinner before you got here, Chief?
What?
You didn't grab dinner before you got here?
No, I got busy.
I can't sit still, I have to keep moving like this.
I got busy.
That's too darn late to eat, 8 o'clock at night. I mean, you got to, but it's,
I may not, that's just it.
Yeah.
I'm hungry now, I mean, I'm getting hungry in an hour. Which is fine. I can stand and probably drop a couple more pounds.
No, that's half the fun, George.
Yeah, good. I want to get one of those little scooters. No, they're gas powered, but I want to, like $500.
Okay, hey, do you have your people lined up yet?
Oh, that's, well, I just.
oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's gonna actually be right before the next council meeting. The same night as the council meeting?
No, this is the 17th.
No, they're coming to the council meeting, and then they're coming to the council meeting.
Oh, okay,
So you could end up with 200-300 people in the council meeting.
okay.
But I promise you, it'll be orderly.
Oh, I know it will be. I'm not concerned about that one bit.
They're good, Katie.
That does not concern me. Why are we showing old Gothic black and white pictures? That was never the waterworks building.
Well, I wanted to watch you, yes, most definitely.
The one behind the village office.
We're good.
I know, that's why.
Where?
Well, yeah.
Cut this stuff out.
For the Grange mill?
I don't want, we're gonna start putting your name on a room phone. I don't like that.
Where the hospital?
Yeah.
Oh, I can see that. Wow, that's a big area.
Good, and I said, well, I hope not to see you again for a little while.
Did it burn?
That's good.
It burned for 9 days? That's because Steve McGee wasn't here. Nothing will burn for 9 days.
I'm doing
And
good.
then they made
then Lou.
Quit eating peanuts back here.
You know, it's popcorn peanuts, I just have a good
I
time.
did that with all the hotels.
I look forward to this
Burned
meeting.
it, it became a postcard.
Yeah, so it's like, what's an odd?
There's your icon.
Yep, I've never even seen it.
Thank God they don't put police took as postcards. Solitaire wants me to update my game.
You're that good?
Yeah. It's not that difficult.
How are you this evening?
I'm good, how are you?
Depends on what you're putting on it, because I know that there's a couple of rental places in town.
This is for, which is the first one, so open house at 11.
They would come. They'll give you everything you want.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, at least be able to set you up with the person who will.
They'll take care of it.
Respect them too.
You got that going, Terry?
Yeah, but yeah, I had
Been going for a few
field
minutes.
trips. Yeah, I did not have my field trip shoes on today.
Call to order. Stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
It's not that easy on my back.
Also,
Here.
Cruikshank.
Here.
Heiko. Shield.
Here.
Musgrave. Here. Rankin.
Yes.
Perkins.
Here. We'll move on to consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to excuse Suzanne from tonight's meeting.
Full support. All in favor? Aye. Now we'll move on to consent agenda. Thank you for that. All items listed on our consent agenda are considered to be routine and non-controversial by the village council and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and discussed separately immediately after consent agenda approval in its normal sequence on the regular agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Support. Roll call.
Heiko. Shield.
Yes.
Musgrave.
Yes.
Rankin.
Yes.
Also,
Yes.
Cruikshank.
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes. Bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you. Wow, you just got showered blessings, bro. It's gonna be a good night for you.
I'm blessed.
We'll move on to public comment. Members of the public can address the council once recognized by the chair. Comments are limited to a maximum of 4 minutes. Council may extend this time by an additional 4 minutes by majority vote. Prior to addressing council, members of the public shall state their name and address for the record. Do we have any public comment? Wow, this is going to be... Yes, sir.
Good evening, my name is Robert Naming, I live at 136 Bedford in Holland, Michigan, and I'd like to make some public comments in regards to medical marijuana in our community. I would like to urge the councilors to go ahead and support this whole idea. We currently have a real problem with heroin and opium addiction in our community. If you're going to ban the use of medical marijuana, I urge you to ban the use of medical heroin and opium at the same time. I don't think that they're actually related. It seems to me that medical marijuana is the only alternative pain medication to heroin and opium, which will soon be listed as a national emergency. I thank you for your time.
Yes, sir. Any other public comment? We'll close public comment and move on to old business, of which we have none. On to new business, the consideration of the waterworks building. We don't have Jerry here.
I can take this one.
Oh, go right ahead.
Sure. So, I don't remember when we actually created the committee to look at waterworks building, since we initially discussed on doing some renovations to it to kind of freshen it up. And then we created the committee to make sure that we could do it correctly and that we're not just putting lipstick on a pig or, something along those lines. After much public outreach, we created a committee for waterworks, with people that were interested in, either preserving what we could on the inside of it, and through many discussions on outreaching to other, venues, and then that includes like the Henry Ford, Oakland County Historic, State Historic committees. And so after realization, and then I think the one thing that changed all of our minds was one of the members, Brad Rebar, presented this picture behind us. And hopefully I'm not blocking it for everybody. But this was the old waterworks building. So this was also included the mill and the electric power station at that time, and this was pre-1890, I think was the first fire, if I'm not mistaken. Even this little one here, you would think that this is the waterworks building today. That's not even true. The building that stands there today was just built after 1920 to cover all the innards of the turbine and the motor and the generator and all that kind of stuff. So in reality, the building that stands there today has no historical value to Holly other than it's old. It doesn't represent the mill or the power plant at that point in time. And the committee itself came to the idea to recommend demolition from the, or presented to council as the demolition. And that echoes what the Parks Commission had said before of, do something, and their recommendation was demolition, I believe, as well at that point in time. So at this point, this is us to discuss. This is our moment that we've come, previous councils have had multiple opportunities to either save or demo, and for whatever reason did not either take that opportunity or passed on it entirely. I said when I got involved and asked Chris to come in too, and that we would make a decision concrete, pun intended, that we would either demo or have a path to resurrect this building. So I do not think that there's anything worth saving in the building. So the demo quotes that we're getting, and Director Clausen can kind of echo or correct me where I'm wrong, but the point is that we will do a calculated demo where we would pull out the important pieces of the building, and that does include that motor, generator, and shaft, and gears, and all that kind of, all the mechanisms that were around there, along with anything else we can find in there that deemed valuable. We had just did a quick walkthrough before the meeting here, and so there's a bunch of little knickknacks in there, little bottles and things that would be cool to save and help, tell the story of waterworks, to the future. And then, but this is purely just for a demo, and then pull all the salvageable stuff out of there and then storing it at a one of the DPW sites until either council decides or the Parks Commission or some other committee decides what we want to do with Waterworks Park as the next step, be it an observation deck, be it gazebos, be it historical markers all over the place. I don't know what that looks like, but this is step one that needs to happen before we have that.
Where is this located, the original?
The original photo is Brad Rebar and Sue Julian did a big fact-finding mission years and years ago. So him and her both have tons of photos that were this awesome quality, along with a bunch of notes that, came from that time. There's news articles that were talking about the first fire and the second fire, and, that in reality the Waterworks Park, the way it is, looks nothing like it did back then. The massive size of this building stretched,
the
far and wide.
Parts of the foundation of, I'm not sure which, whether it's the wooden or the brick side of the building, but parts of the foundation are still visible in the, I guess it'd be the southern end of the park that is surrounded by the walking path, which is where that building currently rests, or used to rest. The buildings that are there currently are about 75 feet to the right of the building you see, the brick building you see in that photo.
So the original waterworks building ran from the other end of the water, not where we currently have the dam.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, the dam was actually on, or not the dam, but the power generation was on the main part of the river that currently goes over the east dam, the dam that's on the east side of the road and curls back around. And there used to be some train tracks, trestles that went out into the river, and some of those posts are still there. And I mean, there's a lot of neat artifacts that are still left at the park. These buildings aren't one of them.
If I may, the actual,
Please.
the waterworks
Excuse me.
building.
Could you please come up to
I'm
the,
sorry.
thank you.
Chris talking sign 5631 Perryville Road. The Waterworks building sets 175 feet away from where the original building
Was
sets.
it 175 feet?
175
I thought it was
feet.
75.
To the
So-
south or to the,
Towards
No,
town,
The
towards
right,
town.
the right side of that picture, I believe, is north.
So
this
where the parking lot is at
west.
now,
Right.
where we park, that's where the original
Reflects southwest or
Waterworks
something?
building was located. So, and then the train trestles went from the tracks to the grist mill for loading and offloading, and that's part of the back foundation that you see on the back side of the existing building.
do you have any idea when the current building was built?
I think when we looked, it was 1920 maybe.
It had to be at least 2021, I think.
Yeah.
And then there was an
2021,
addition
and
to
it
it,
was-
wasn't there? Because the original one was the brick
Yeah.
portion of the building and then they
It's
added.
burned, yeah, it's burned 3 times.
Oh, okay.
So the original one burned, rebuilt it, burned again, relocated it, burned again, and then put another part on the building.
Right.
So none of it is original.
Right. Okay, thank you. Do we have any public comment on this?
Well, I guess it's also important to note what we're not gonna do. So we're not taking, the river is still going there, we're still,
The dam is staying.
this dam is staying. The intent is to build something, either an observation deck over it at this point in time, and to make it,
We're just talking removal of the building.
correct.
Are we
The
talking-
walls in the basement and the stuff inside.
I guess I got kind of like a question about if we're removing the basement part, is there anything that the building's currently doing, like with holding water to holding dirt or any sort of other various things there?
Well, I think Director Clausen can clarify that part of the demo is resloping some of it so that it's,
The building,
according to
the wood
DEQ.
building, the channel underneath the wood building would stay because that is part of that dam. And the basement underneath the brick building would be removed and filled in it to slope down to the river.
To piggyback on what you were saying, DEQ has deemed it unsafe.
Yeah, so there was a DEQ was out a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, and then they had said that this is a listed hazard, and it would be included in their reports going forward, that,
Yeah, they did a dam inspection on the upper and lower dam, and they considered the building a public health hazard, so that'll be listed in their report. Just
so that also helps it. And you had, and just kind of off topic, you had mentioned before that they said that if we would have had a tough winter, this building may have split anyway, naturally.
Yeah, the amount of moisture that was in it would have froze solid and probably split all of it.
So it's a liability to the village.
Now we have, crested that
It's getting to
point.
that point.
Yeah.
It's gotten to that point, actually.
It is.
And I think we've said on this long
Mr.
enough.
Clausen, after the building is removed, is there going to be any barriers around that?
Yeah, so it had to be some kind of existing barrier around the channel that's left there. There's a new screen being built, the one that was built in 1994 failed a couple weeks ago. We fished that out of there. New one's being fabricated at the DPW shop. That'll be installed. But we have to clear that screen, so we can't just put a fence in with an existing fence.
Okay.
So we either have to manufacture or build something taller, and so that people can't get down in there. And then there's been discussion of building some kind of decking over that existing channel, so people can view that water wheel until a permanent decision's made. And then we'll also secure that area either with railing or some kind of fencing so that.
But that's something we're looking at down the road.
Yes, so
Okay.
nobody can fall into that channel.
Okay.
And I guess I got another, like, second question, I guess, like, when we do go forward with demo, is there gonna be any environmental concerns in tearing it down because of like the asbestos and other?
We've talked to
Such.
DEQ, their only concern was no large debris flows down the river. We do have to have a soil erosion permit with Oakland County. If it's approved tonight, I have the permit printed out, ready to be filled out. That'll be filled out, and then if they have any concerns, we'll go from there.
And I think that was part of the recommendation too, in the dollar amount for any unforeseen
Right.
issues that may have come up.
Brian, out of the 3 quotes we're looking at, there's an official staff recommendation, other than just numbers not to exceed, is there any one of the three that you would prefer to work with, or that were, you know, more accommodating to helping save the?
The last two were complete demos. The first one didn't include the wood building because he said that would have to be taken down by hand, and he didn't have that ability. So either one of the last two, both those contractors were, again, if cost is a factor, then Bruce Lau is definitely a little bit. He did call me back earlier this afternoon with a price of $1,500 for the well abandonment. So comparing apples to apples, you're looking at about $13,000. All three contractors could not give a firm price on the foundation because they weren't sure how thick it was. With the two buildings butting up to each other, they weren't sure what they were going to have to deal with or how much cost was going to be associated with cutting and removal of that.
Okay.
Because what we could see on the north end or the south end of the wood building, that foundation is about 18 inches thick. So we'll definitely have to bring someone in there to have the ability to cut that.
So that'll be additional cost?
That'll be additional cost if it needs to be removed.
The only part of the building that was built to last.
Yeah.
Ryan, this Bruce Lowe, his bid does not include any large items that would damage contractor equipment.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
That's very broad.
Well, he's talking about large pieces of concrete. He's not gonna pull those out, the foundation out in large chunks. They would have to be cut up or broken up before he would load those out.
So that would be our responsibility.
Well, we'd have to hire someone to cut those up. I mean, if they need to be broke up, he has the ability to break them up, but he wasn't gonna just pull them out in large chunks and load them into his truck.
But this Bob Myers will?
That was the same thing. I think his quote at the end says the same thing with concrete cost. There was a variable there. So, like I said, either one of those contractors has the equipment to take down the whole building. So, it's just a matter of what council feels comfortable with. You know, both of them, I think, will do a good job, or a great job for us. We just need to make sure that the stuff that needs to come out of there gets out of there safely.
And are both of those contractors going to cover removing the equipment?
Yes, they're gonna work jointly with the DPW. We'll have a truck and trailer there to load it onto and get it to the DPW, and then we should be able to get it off with the equipment we have at the shop, so.
And are they licensed and bonded?
Yes.
And so I guess then my question becomes, with a $6,000 price difference between Bruce Lowe's roughly $13,000, including the well abandonment, and Bob Myers, what's the, I mean, is there a $6,000 advantage with going with Bob Myers? Is there a better reputation? It seems like a giant, I mean, that's like a 40% increase.
They have farther to travel, and they have a little bit more overhead, I would imagine, because they're coming from Brighton versus Bruce is on Fish Lake Road. So, I don't know, you know, the well abandonment, Bruce was using a local guy, he said $1,500, I don't know.
Okay.
So there may be some cost factors there, so.
I would just follow the staff recommendation underneath here about the maximums and go with that. And start with because it says start with the lowest bid and work with that.
I have a question now. This Bob Myers includes fill for final grade. It does not mention that in Bruce Lowe's.
I did talk to him about that, and we do have, I think both contracts would be using some of the fill we have at the cemetery, but I can verify it before I say, you know, say we're gonna use Bruce to make sure he has enough fill to bring it in to take care of it. If not, then I would, you know, recommend that Bob Myers get the job just for that reason.
Okay, so then my final question is gonna be, R&R says that they're only doing the brick portion of the building, are the other two doing both?
Yes. That's right, yeah.
That takes R&R out of the question for me.
Correct, yeah, for sure. It's down to the last two, and
Okay.
Based off of Brian's discussion at the building and then now, I'm gonna make the motion that we approve Director Clausen and Jerry Walker to work with Bruce Lau Excavating on the demo of the building with the cost not to exceed $25,000 for demo of Waterworks building.
A second.
Support.
Roll call?
Cruikshank.
Yes.
Shield.
Yes.
Musgrave.
Yes.
Reagan.
Yes.
Alsa.
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes. Move on to reports. Katie, you're stepping in for Mr. Walker. Do you have anything for us? He said you were filling in for him tonight. That's what he told me at lunchtime today.
I was thinking you might be back by now.
Well, he said he might be, but if not, he said to refer to you.
7:30.
So if not, that's fine. We can go to Debbie. Now, Ms. Bigger?
I don't really have anything to add to my written report. The transcriber that does the minutes to some of the meetings is taking some time off. So I'm going to be training the girls out front to do some of the minutes. I'm still going to do council, obviously, but we'll start training them to do a few of the others.
Awesome.
We'll see how that goes.
We like cross-training.
Yes, we
Yeah,
do.
so they're gonna, they each go to a different meeting now, and I'm trying to move them around so they get used to other meetings. And then I'm gonna have them start doing minutes to the ones
Perfect.
during business hours.
Very good.
And I just wanna remind everybody to come to our fundraiser on August 26th at Lakeside Park, and that is all.
Chief, you have anything?
Aside from what's in my monthly, I've got nothing to add.
Right. Brian?
Nope, I'm good, thank you.
Brian, we'll head down to you for, what do you got, historical and?
Historical and Haya. Haya, I do believe met when I was out of town, and they had the monthly meeting. And Historic has not met since last month.
All right, thank you. Parks?
Parks, we have our concert at Park in Crapo next Saturday from 6 to 8 on the 19th. Don't forget there's a solar eclipse on Monday the 21st. Get your fancy glasses and make sure you watch that.
There's also a very large meteor shower this Friday.
And December Blast is the 26th from 1 to 4
Correct.
at Lakeside Park. Bounce houses, lunch with admission, and all kinds of activities. It'll be fun. Just
Climbing
show
wall.
up. Yes, the climbing wall. How could I forget? Holiday, September 16th. There's a fun run that starts, I believe, at 9 a.m. There's a parade at noon. Community play days from 1 to 4. There's food, and the Moose is having their food tent, and there's music and fireworks at 10 o'clock. We are doing the zombie run, which is a 5K run, October 14th at 4 p.m. The route is I guess people who run 5Ks in Holly are pretty familiar with the route that goes around Holly as a 5K. We're using the same route, and I also want to give kudos to Brian. I called him I texted him it must have been 9:30 or 10 o'clock on a Saturday after getting a report that something was broken at Lakeside, and I got a report Sunday morning that it had been fixed already. So thank you, Brian, for handling that. And I think you were out of town, so I don't think you handled it personally, but you got to take care of it, so I appreciate that. And that's all I have.
ZBA?
We had a meeting last night for the Dollar Tree. They want to extend the sign almost twice the size it is, and we denied it.
Which side? The one on the road?
No, big sign.
The sign on the building?
Yeah, it's gonna be too bright. If we okay that, then we're gonna have to okay everybody's signs in town. It'd be huge. I thought the sign that they wanted originally got voted in was good enough. And then they got a sign on the outside.
Yeah, they got a sign out by between the.
And I asked her if it was lighted, and she said no, but it looked like there was electricity sticking out of the ground. The continuity. So we all got together and denied it.
All right, thank you.
They left happy.
Planning?
Planning, last meeting we started doing a little bit of a internal training for the board there, and then start reviewing the Midtown Charrette, which will definitely take a few meetings, and then we hopefully can start talking about updating our master plan and going along that route, which is sorely needed.
Yes, indeed it is. Thank you. You have anything, Ms. Musgrave?
Nothing.
And we have yet to meet for the DDA. That will be next Monday. And council comments? Ryan?
I have none.
Chris?
I know Holly High School, I'm not sure exactly how to get, I'm not sure the contact information, but I know Holly High School, their golf team is having a Glow Golf fundraiser on September 9th. I believe it starts at like 6 or 8 o'clock. It's literally glowing golf balls and you.
It's very cool. I did it last year.
Play at
Super
night,
cool.
and it's $50 per participant, teams of 4. If you have a team of 2, then you can still register and they'll just pair you up with another team of 2. Dan Couchman, I believe, is the coach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's running, yep.
You can get into contact with him. He'll give you some more information. Otherwise, if you want to get a hold of me via my email through the village, I can put you in contact with them if anybody's interested.
Sounds like fun. Bob?
I have nothing. Oh, I should say, I have a town hall next Thursday, or here at Carl Richter. We'll be meeting in the room across from the auditorium. They call it the media room. But this
What time?
There's not much media in that room.
Yeah, there's not much. I mean, that's name only, right? So we'll be there. Despite reports, everybody is invited.
Yeah, there has been a wee bit of controversy over that.
There always is.
Thank you. Ms. Musser? I need it. We'll open it back up for public comment. We'll limit it to 4 minutes, and please state your name and address for the record. Do we have any public? Yes, sir.
Joe Blarchio, 3413 Harrington Drive. First, I want to thank council for waterworks, certainly a piece of area of blight in our village that is long overdue, so thank you for that. But I'm here again tonight for, again, I can't make the meeting on the 22nd, but to discuss the facility licensing. And, you know, I'm one that strongly in favor of medical marijuana, have no issues with it. Recreational use, I could probably even be convinced with the right regulations and restrictions. But I fear that on the 22nd, you guys are going to get a lot of distracting arguments, much like the argument that was made earlier today about opiates. Again, I ask you to navigate your way through those distractions and look at the issue at hand. Does Holly need these facilities now, or should we wait till later? And that's really where I sort of brought my position on this. Is it's not a question of should we vote for it now, should we vote for yes or no. It's a question of is it something that we need now, or can we wait until there's more data? And if you look at what's coming down the pipeline, I would really expect that we probably need 2 years to really understand what this is going to mean to our community. We also have 4 of 7 council members coming off for their terms expiring next year. We have possible recreational use on the ballot. So again, I would ask you to wait on this. You can vote no for now. It doesn't mean you can't reopen it. And again, I don't feel that it's kicking the can down the road. It's more collecting the data to be able to make an informed decision. So don't vote no because you're strongly opposed to drugs, and don't vote yes because you feel perhaps the government enforcement is too much. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other public comment? Yes, ma'am.
Chris Buckenstein, 5631 Perryville Road. I also will not be at the meeting on the 22nd. I'll be out of town. I will be at the town hall, however. I guess my suggestion would be, there's been a lot of debate lately about dispensaries per se. Doesn't seem like anybody's looking at the bigger picture. It's all about they're going to be walking around the street smoking weed, they're going to go to the dispensaries, we're getting out the riffraff. If I came to you from a year from now and I said, I'm here representing Pfizer or Eli Lilly, and we want to put a manufacturing facility in Holly, how many would really say no to that? They are the 2 of the biggest drug manufacturers in our entire country. But if someone comes up and says, we want to put a marijuana manufacturing company here, then everybody gets all freaked out about it. So if things start to turn around and they become public and legal, federal, state, almost guarantee you that these big drug manufacturers are also going to be doing medical marijuana.
They already are.
So, it's a bigger picture to look at, not just a dispensary on the corner, but Pfizer, Eli Lilly, all these big companies coming in, creating jobs. That's my point.
Thank you. Any further public comment? No? All right, we'll close public comment. Adjourn this meeting. Our next regular meeting will be August 22nd. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
7:30.
That's the shortest village town.
7:29.
Verizon said 7:30.
Supposed to have been, Katie. What happened, Katie? Word filtered up there, the chief was hungry.
That's what it was.
And they said, don't mess with the chief.
Because he'll get hangry, you better drink it.
Yes, I was, I got you on my. No problem, I know you're.
That can carry a sticker.